Hey guys, Technomentary here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPhone XR going into 2023. If it's worth it, if you think about upgrading it, or if you think about upgrading from it, or if you're still using it in 2023, what can you expect? And finally, answer the question if it's still worth it to have and use in 2023. Let's dive right into it. So the iPhone XR was released back in October of 2018 as an alternative, affordable option to the iPhone XS, which again was the more pricier one. The iPhone XS, which started at $999, almost $1,000. The iPhone XR provided a solution with some of the less features compared to the XS and started at $749 for the base model here, and a lot of things has changed over the years. So it is now a little over 4 years since the phone has been released. Again, really good device to have, and it seems to be one of the popular devices for many reasons. As you see here, I have the screen here, which is a 6.1 inch display here. This is an LCD display here. You got other things like the back here. Again, we have the product red of it. Now you can get this phone in multitude of color, give you a variety of option. You'll notice here only one single 12 megapixel camera. You have the Apple logo and the iPhone. You got these rounded bezel here. Again, unique design overall, and this is aerospace grade body built to it. Overall, again, clean phone. Again, nice and slim, small, but yet powerful. It is a 6.1 inch display, bigger than the iPhone XS, it's of course, but smaller than the XS Max here. We're just in between if you're not looking for something huge, but not something small, just between, right in the middle size of it. That's where the iPhone XR comes in play. Of course, there is other things to mention, like the A12 Bionic chip that's equipped with the 3 gigs of RAM, and enough hardware to last in for another 2-3 years in terms of power. Now, when it comes to storage, we mentioned start at 64 gig. Now you can go up to 256 gig as well, which is the highest that this phone model offers. And when it comes to battery here, if we take a look at the battery, it has a bigger battery compared to some of the other phones we've seen. 2942 mAh battery gives you a good battery life that we've seen compared to the other model. If you're looking at battery playback, you're probably comparing it to the new iPhone 14 Pro, which gives you 23 hours of video playback. This one gives you about 16 hours of video playback. Not bad compared to almost a over 4-year-old phone. Of course, this phone is water resistant. You can take it up to 1 meter for 30 minutes here, but because the front and the back is glass itself, not recommended, especially if you have a crack or broken part. Water can leak in and damage the phone, so keep that in mind. And lastly, let's talk about the camera itself. We mentioned that it does have 112 megapixel back camera. Front is only 7 megapixel camera, so selfie, again, good selfies overall. Wouldn't complain about that. But again, some of the newer phones which have 3 cameras up to 48 megapixel camera, all right, and the front being 12 megapixel camera gives the phone, again, extra boost. But when you look at things like photo, you can take some pretty good photos. Even photography mode, you do only have limited option. When it comes to the portrait mode, you get just studio, natural, and then the contour light, compared to a range of persons on the other lineup that we've seen here. When it comes to video recording, you do get to record all the way up to 4K 60 frames per second, and that's kind of a good thing about the phone here. Again, decent for average user. But when it comes to other features that we've seen on the lineup, like the cinematic mode, action mode, Pro RAW, and apparently they also photographic styles and things like night mode there aren't available on the phone. But again, for an average user, the camera, again, and the video from the phone, again, pretty good, will get you by without any issues with it. And now let's talk about the next main part, which is the software of this phone. As you'll notice here, we updated this phone to iOS 16. We did a review video last year when we did upgrade it, so you can go ahead and check out the video. You can pretty much take advantage of most of the features that iOS 16 offers on this phone, no doubt about that. And that's where the magic is on the software itself. And now this is a over 4-year-old phone. We'll probably see iOS 17 also, possibly even 18 on this phone, so it does definitely have a few more years left on the phone in terms of software update, which we've seen Apple kind of supporting their devices. Now let's talk about the actual application themselves here. As you can see here, I have tons of application here, and we started to use most of the applications, like your social media application, even things for video streaming, your favorite music streaming application, all of that and much more are stable and working as it should be. And even things like productivity tool and things for school, even for work, you'll see all those applications work without any doubt. Even when it comes to video chat through your favorite video conferencing application, all of that will work, no doubt about that. So productivity wise and your general day-to-day usage, it's going to be fine as well. Even when it comes to the basic functionalities like calling and texting, again, the phone will excel in that. You'll notice here when we open up anything, it takes a second or two, but after that, it's off to a flyer, and that kind of goes to show where the iPhone itself, again, for a 4-year-old phone is pretty good in that case. You also notice here when it comes to gaming now, which you might be wondering why we're talking about gaming, because it does have 3 gigs of RAM. When it comes to lightweight game, again, it does really good job at it, and because of that display, again, it makes it really nice. But when it comes to a little bit on the heavier graphic gaming, that's where the phone, you might see a little bit of issue there, but wouldn't recommend playing heavy graphic gaming on a device like this. You'll probably see a little bit of lag. That's because it is a 4-year-old phone, but still will be able to get that job done for you. So let's really talk about if the iPhone XR is actually worth it in 2023 and going forward. So our simple answer is yes, it's definitely worth it. And the reason why we're saying it's worth it is because a couple things. Your first thing is the price point that you get this device in 2023. If you're looking to just get this device, the price point right now for this phone is under $200, which is almost 1/4 the price you would have paid when it was released here. So that's the sweet spot about it. It gets the latest update. Now it has a good battery size compared to some of the other models we compare in the smartphone area for this phone. The software here running the latest iOS 16 version, its performance is phenomenal. No issues in terms of just day-to-day usage for it, and gets all of your basic things done. Now, what are some things that might be like, of course, the cons, if you will, or some things that the iPhone XR could definitely have? Well, the iPhone XR doesn't have 5G, which was introduced on the iPhone 12 lineup and later, and that's not a fault of the phone itself. It's just the technology Apple didn't introduce yet. Other things we might mention is the camera. Again, the camera is okay for an average user, but if you're really looking for a camera with more advanced features and some of the new things like the cinematic mode, the iPhone XR again lacks those. And because it's only a single 12 megapixel camera, isn't going to give you the best shot when it comes to that. And of course, other thing to mention is the refresh rate on this display here. It is a good display, but it doesn't have, it's only limited to 60 hertz refresh rate compared to the newer phones, which have 120 hertz refresh rate. So that's kind of our take on it. The iPhone XR, again, a decent device, cheaper, and if you're looking for it on it, make sure you guys check out the link in the description section that we will leave for you guys. And we want to hear from you guys your thoughts on the iPhone XR going to 2023. Leave it in a comment in the comment section. Also, while you're at it, make sure that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.